At this time, we're ready to continue. If you'll take your seats. We are now going to continue with the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, Coach Butch Jones. We'll ask Coach Jones to make an opening statement, and then we will take questions after his opening statement. Coach?
Thank you. It's great to see everyone this time of year again. And before I start, I'd first off like to say thank you for all that you do in promoting our student athletes, promoting the Southeastern Conference, and promoting the University of Tennessee. And it's the best game going, and appreciate all your efforts and everything that you do. Obviously, it's an exciting time of year right now. Everyone is extremely optimistic. Everyone starts at 0-0. No two teams are ever the same. That's why we've moved on from Team 117 to Team 118 in Tennessee. On the average, a third of college football teams change. The dynamics change. You have to reinvent yourself. Each and every year, there's new opportunities for everyone in your football program, from leadership to the roles of your players. For us at Tennessee, we're a little bit different. We're not at the norm in terms of having to replace a third of our football team. We're having to replace almost half of our football team. This year, half of our roster will be brand new. With that has brought a lot of positive energy, excitement, momentum that surrounds Tennessee football. There's so much momentum, not just from a program standpoint in terms of football, but from facility improvements, from recruiting, just the overall development that's going on at Tennessee. We've had an influx of young talent and youthfulness. And we were very fortunate to sign a signing class of 32, 14 of which were early enrollees, so they were present during spring football, and that really helped in the overall development of our football program. But we are still going through the realities of building a college football program. We're the only school in the country that has to replace both starting interior lines, both offensively and defensively. We have to replace our entire kicking game. And so for us, the challenge is going to be to maintaining our focus, having consistency in performance, and really understanding what it takes to play winning football week in and week out. You'll hear me talk about the power of one. The one is very powerful with this football team. Because being so young, we have to focus on the moment. We have to win one moment at a time, one play at a time, one practice at a time, one day at a time, have one unity of purpose, one common commitment, and one mindset. It's all about our players understanding they have to earn the right to win. There's a difference between earning the right to win and hoping to win. And our players are doing that just right now. Our veteran players have done a great job of really mentoring our younger players, and that's why A.J. Johnson, Kirk Magid, and Matt Crowder are with us today. They've earned the right to represent the University of Tennessee with their consistency in their approach on a day-to-day basis, but also their leadership qualities. We had two freshmen that played for us last year that were freshman All-Americans in terms of Marquez North and Cam Sutton, and we're going to rely on them. As I talked about the power of one, the whole key for us is how do we manage the natural adversities that a college football season brings about. The daily demands of being a student athlete, from the media to going on the road and winning in hostile environments, to the time management that's required, community service, all that embodies of being a student athlete. So it's going to be how this football team can manage those natural adversities. But we have great team chemistry. I like where this football team is right now. Looking forward to starting practice on August 1st. And quite simply, it's going to be how fast can we jump the learning curve. And we'll find out in a hurry with a great opponent, Utah State. But I'll answer any questions you may have at this particular time.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll start right in the center, Coach. Straight ahead of us.
Zubrин, Palm Beach Post. What does it say about Kurt? You know, you called him the heart and soul of your team despite never having coached him during a game. What does it say about him that he can be a leader, being hurt for this past year, and what do you expect from him this upcoming season?
Well, I think it speaks volumes about Kurt Magid. he is the leader of our football team. And he was the leader last year. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to participate on the field. So being able to get him back on the grass for our football team, he's going to be a presence. He's a very talented football player. He'll add an edge presence to our defense, but also we'll move him around at linebacker. He demands respect. He's accountable to his teammates. And so to be able to have his voice on the field when we're in the battles is going to be critical in us moving forward. I know I'm looking forward to getting him out on the field and practicing.
Okay, we'll stay here in the center section.
Hey Coach, Griffin Hampstead, Hoover Chamber of Commerce. This is your second year at Tennessee. For you, what's the best part about coaching at Tennessee and coaching in the Southeastern Conference?
Well, it's the relevance and the magnitude that's the University of Tennessee. You know, we always talk about in recruiting, people make a place, and we have great people. We have what I feel is one of the best fan bases in the country. We have a great administration led by Chancellor Cheek and Dave Hart, and we're all aligned, and that's what we sell all the time, is being total alignment in your messaging, same principles, same values, same beliefs. And it's only a matter of time. You know, the University of Tennessee has so much to offer a prospective student athlete, and it's an honor and privilege to be the head football coach there, and I don't take that lightly. I love my job, and I love being at Tennessee.
Okay, we'll go right down front, right here in the front row.
Caleb Butter, Columbia Daily Herald. Coach, the matchup against Florida later in the year is a big one with Muschamp coaching for his job, and then your young team. How important is that game?
Well, every game is going to be critical, and again, I'm going to go back to the power of one. I'm concerned about Utah State and then moving forward, but I believe Florida's going to be an exceptionally talented football team. I think they're going to be one of the teams to beat. Coach Muschamp is a great coach, and they have our respect, just like every program in this great conference. But for us, we can't even look down that path right now. We have to focus on day one of training camp and really worry about ourselves in terms of the process, focusing on the process and the journey that we're about ready to embark on.
We'll go to the center section about 3/4 of the way back.
Hey Coach, Andrew WG. How well are the incoming freshmen taking to the traditions of the University of Tennessee?
You know what, they've done a great job, and I think the thing where we've been aided and benefited from is we have 6 legacy players, whose fathers played at the University of Tennessee and were great players. And that's the thing, is we want individuals that have grown up understanding the rivalry with Alabama, understanding the rivalry with Florida, understanding the traditions that we have at the University of Tennessee. So the legacy players have helped, but this is a class that wanted to be at the University of Tennessee, and they take great pride and onus on having that upon their shoulders of getting Tennessee football back to its rightful place among the elite of college football.
We'll go over here to our left, Coach, second row.
Stephen Godfrey, SB Nation. Coach, I know you just talked about the rivalry with Alabama. The criticisms of that 6-1-1 format are that it really protects those 2 games, yourself and Alabama and Auburn and Georgia. Do you think you would have supported a change in the format if you were a coach of a different school? I know obviously the rivalry is very important to you, but I'm just curious what your discussion with other coaches were. Obviously Florida and LSU feel like it's a competitive disadvantage for them.
Sure, Stephen. Well, all I can speak on is the University of Tennessee, and I feel Coach Saban feels the same way. Is what makes college football special are the traditions, and the rivalries. And it's been a traditional rivalry. Now we have to get back to making these rivalry games relevant again. But it's in our DNA at the University of Tennessee and the University of Alabama, and they're very special to us. And I think that's what kind of makes up the pageantry of college football. Every school has their own reasons and all that, but I also think that's one of the great things that separates the Southeastern Conference, is the grind of a long football season and the great teams that play each other week in and week out.
Okay, we'll go to the center section, right on the left corner.
Ryan Wood, Charleston Post and Courier. I know it might not have offered much momentum during this season, but how critical in terms of laying the groundwork for the program was it to beat South Carolina last year? And how critical is that series in terms of regaining the hierarchy of the SEC East?
Well, it was a critical win for us, and there's so many things that went into that game, so many great illustrations of what it takes to play winning football. in making critical plays and critical moments in the game. And I think it showed a little bit of some resiliency and perseverance by our seniors. We started off winning the game, and then we fell behind, and we found a way to win the football game. It's 3rd and 9, and Justin Worley stands in the pocket, and Marquez North, true freshman, goes up, makes a play of the ball in the air. A lot of nuances that go into time management. A lot of people don't even realize this, but you're sitting there and you're running the clock down for a game-winning field goal. You have no timeouts left, and as a coach, you're trying to make a decision. Do you spike the ball with 11 seconds left? Then when you make the field goal, you have to kick off, or are you going to rely on your discipline because we snapped the ball with 3 seconds left? If we would have jumped off sides, 10-second runoff, and we lose the game. So there's all those things that we can continue to move forward on, and teach lessons that went into that game, and having players step up and make critical plays and critical moments in the game. And I have such respect for Coach Spurrier and what he's been able to do at South Carolina, but that was a great win for us in moving forward.
We'll go over to the back of the right section.
It was Mike Herndon at AL.com. What are your thoughts about the new summer workout rules, and how have you been able to use that time to improve your preparation for the season?
Well, it's really helped us in terms of, being such a young football team, but I also think it's a balancing act. For us, we're trying to get freshmen ready to play, so we're trying to develop them mentally and physically. We're trying to get them bigger, stronger, and faster. So, to take time away from some of your lift sessions, to do film studies, so it was a great balancing act for us. I also still think there comes a point in time in the summer that they need a break from the coaches, and the coaches need a break from them, and kind of re-energize yourself. So it's been a balancing act for us, but it came at the proper time for us just because of trying to get so many freshmen ready to play.
Coach, we'll go over to our left in the center.
Chase Goodman with NFL.com. Coach, A.J. Johnson made a tough decision in the winter to come back to school. In what ways can that decision benefit him, and in what ways can he improve to be the best potential pro that he can be by the end of this season?
Well, Chase, we're excited to have A.J. back, and he means so much to our football team. Being our middle linebacker, he's the quarterback of our defense. But, he wants to get a college degree. And the NFL will be there for him, and we try to start that process early on with the NFL education. We actually start seminars when they enroll and they become freshmen, not only with our players, our student athletes, but also with their parents, and kind of mentoring them. And each player has a different nuance or a different dynamic of why they choose to leave early and declare themselves eligible for the National Football League draft. But we're excited to have A.J. back. And, him and Kurt Majid are best friends. They kind of play off of each other. They push each other. And it's an opportunity for him to improve his coverage skills, his overall knowledge of the game, and to get bigger and stronger to be able to play at the next level.
We're going to go to the back right again. Back.
Hey, Coach. Steve Moulton, 97.7 The Sun in Huntsville, Alabama. Entering into year 2, all your assistant coaches are back, even your equipment manager's back. I'm wondering, from your program point of view of bringing back all your coaches, how critical is that for the momentum you obviously want to build upon?
Well, Steve, it's critical. You win with consistency and you win it with continuity. And for a lot of these individuals, they've had too much change. Some of these individuals, this was their 3rd or 4th defensive coordinator. So to be able to have the same consistent and constant messaging day in and day out, our players understand the standard and the expectations that has been set forth to play at the University of Tennessee. So to have that consistency is critical. I think you win with consistency. And, for us, our coaching staff has been together for a number of years, so we kind of feed off of each other, which is very, very important. I believe in morale. I believe in team chemistry. And that's what we have at Tennessee.
We're going to go back over to the left alongside the wall.
Barrett Salee, Bleacher Report. Butch, you mentioned the contact that you have, with players this offseason. One of the freshmen you have, Jalen Hurd. I know you were happy with him at the end of spring practice, but said he still needed to continue to work. Where is he right now in terms of where you want him to be, and what is the likelihood of him, being a major contributor right off the bat?
Well, Jalen continues to progress. We're going to put so much pressure on some 17 and 18 and 19-year-old individuals, and they're just like our children. You know, they grow up, they mature differently. But Jalen has really done a great job in the weight room. He's really sacrificed a lot of things in terms of his eating habits, his rest, his recovery, his body's taken off. And, you know, for 6'3" stature of him, he can get the tough yards, but he has the elusiveness to make a defender miss at the second level. And he's going to have a great role, and that's one of the selling points. He's being pushed by 2 other freshmen, Darrell Scott and Trayvon Polk, you know, along with Marlon Lane. And Marlon Lane, I think, has been a great success story in our football program of what a difference a year makes in terms of overall maturity, changing his overall life, his lifestyle, and he's been a great mentor to Jalen as well. But we expect big things for Jalen down the road.
Coach, we're going to go in the middle, about 6 rows back.
Coach Jones, Simeon, touchdown, Alabama.net. You touched on earlier that you're one of the only teams in the nation that has to rebuild their both interior lines. I just want to know from you, is there any names on either side of the ball that gives you confidence that you're going to do extremely better this year?
Well, yeah, you know, we made a decision as a program to redshirt our left guard, Marcus Jackson. And so to be able to have him back, he's one of the individuals that has started a few games for us in the past. So to have that back, to have his experience back, and be able to garner a redshirt year from him last year is big in moving forward. Matt Crowder, who's here with us today, it's a tremendous opportunity for Mac. He's waited for this opportunity. He's kind of the quarterback of the offensive line. Coleman Thomas is a true freshman. Right now, he's got the inside track to be the starter at right tackle. I'm excited to see how far he's progressed. He's one of the 14 mid-year enrollees. Dontavius Blair, junior college individual from Anniston, Alabama, also an earlier enrollee. I'm excited to see how much he's progressed throughout the months of the summer. So this is a group that has worked exceptionally hard, and they're going to have a tremendous opportunity in front of them. Defensively, Jordan Williams is an individual who's a senior out of Gainesville, Florida, who has really worked himself into a great physical condition. We're going to expect a lot from him, and we expect a lot from our seniors. And he's had a great offseason. Obviously, having Kurt Magid back on the defensive side of the ball will help us. So, you know, those individuals, just to name a few, we expect big things from.
Here we're going to stay in the center section, just another row back.
Blake Tommeyer, Columbia Tribune. Coach, what stands out to you about the running backs across the SEC this year?
Well, it's going to be an extremely talented group of running backs with each team, and the thing that's going to make it exceptionally challenging for defenses is all these great running backs have different styles of play. They have a uniqueness that's only common to themselves. So you have some individuals who are extremely quick with great make you miss. Some are more north and south runners, so it's going to be a great challenge week in and week out preparing for the great running backs in this conference.
Okay, we're going to go right here in front of the podium, first row.
Hey, Coach, I'm Brandon Shields with Jackson Sun in Jackson, Tennessee. Yesterday, Derek Mason talked about having known you and coached against you from your days at Central Michigan. Can you just kind of tell us about coaching against and kind of what you're expecting out of Vanderbilt? Anything different with him coaching this year?
Well, Derek Mason is a fine football coach, and you know, we've gone together a little bit in terms of when he was at Ohio University, now he's at Central Michigan University. We were involved in some very good football games, and obviously have followed the football program very closely at Stanford. And he's done a great job, and he has a great reputation, and I know that Derek will do a great job there.
We'll stay here on this first row, right out of the way.
Hey, Coach, you talked during the orange and white game this past spring. Josh Malone was one of the guys that really showed up for the freshmen. What are your plans for him in the fall?
Well, we expect Josh Malone to continue to develop. And, you know, Tennessee is the original wide receiver U. And I think that's one of the biggest changes in our football team is the wide receiver position. And everything in our football program, we talk about the power of the position. and it's the responsibility of every player at each position to play to their best of their God-given ability and continue to develop to meet their fullest potential. And I'm excited about our wide receiver position. It's going to be one that's going to be exceptionally strong. We're going to have great competition there. And I'm a former wide receiver coach, so I'm excited at where we're going. Zach Azani does a great job with that position group, with just an overall mentality and a pride in the position. So I believe that's going to be one of our strengths in moving forward. And, you know, Josh is being pushed. You know, Jason Kroom has had a great offseason. Von Pearson, the #2 junior college wideout in the country, has pushed him. Alton Howard is back on our football team. He's had probably one of the best off seasons of anyone in our football program right now. You know, you look at Marquez North, which we spoke about, you know, earlier in the session. So again, I'm excited of where we're going at that position.
Coach, we'll go over to the right, in the middle.
Hey, Coach, Bruce Marshall at Sports Byline. Reflecting on your days with the Bearcats, we know there's an upgrade from the Big East or the American now to the SEC, size, speed, what have you. But tell us about the degree of the upgrade. And did it surprise you, or was it about what you expected last year?
It was about what I expected. The big thing is, in the SEC, is the daily grind of going through a long football season. There are no off days. And just the overall competitive makeup. And it's an unforgiving league, and it's extremely competitive no matter what's going on. And I think you see the vision of the SEC. It's like we're one step ahead all the time. We have great coaches, great players, and again, the competitive balance and makeup of this league is second to none. The ability to go on the road, you know, every institution has tremendous passion, loyal fan bases. So the ability to have to go on the road and play in those hostile environments, it takes a mentally tough football team, and how you train, the standard and the expectation that goes to winning on the road. So I just think it's the overall gamut from A to Z that the SEC presents each and every day.
Okay, we have time for a couple more. We have one up here in the very front row. Left.
Coach, I just came back from manning camp. I know Peyton spent several days with you in Knoxville. Also saw Justin down there and talked to Worley. Of course, a couple of years ago, Tyler was coaching his little world. But talk about your quarterback competition, where you at, and how you see that shaking out. You lost Peterman.
Well, I'm excited about our overall quarterback competition. And I think all three individuals have really elevated their game, from Justin Worley to Nate Peterman to Josh Dobbs. And we've really challenged them. But I also think the influx of talent around them at the skill spots at wide receiver, tight end, and running back is also going to increase their overall level of play. But I'm very encouraged by what I've seen. There is no timetable to naming a starter. You know, I want them to compete as much as possible, because I think competition is healthy, and they compete against each other each and every day, but also they maintain that togetherness as a unit, as a position group, which has been great to see. Peyton Manning is a great resource, and I would be remiss if I didn't say congratulations to him to being voted the #1 player in the National Football League by his peers. I think that speaks volumes. And so Peyton means everything to us, and I know he's helped our quarterbacks immensely this offseason as well.
Okay, we'll stay in the center here, fourth row.
Hey, Coach, Ken Rogers with the Dothan Eagle. Look, we've made a lot about, you know, the dearth of offensive and defensive linemen, but I also noticed you've got your entire secondary back. I wondered if you talked about that position group and how much you'll be leaning on those guys.
Well, we're going to lean on them quite heavily. And again, having Cam Sutton, who was a freshman All-American, back is very big for us. Justin Coleman has played a lot of football for us. We'll move him inside and outside. And the evolution of the game of football defensively, you know, one of the most important positions now in the structure of a defense is the nickel position. And so really the key for us is finding that fifth defensive back. Brian Randolph missed all the spring with a shoulder injury, but he's back 100% healthy. He's added about 25 pounds to his physique, to his body. So we're excited about that. And then we're able to attract a number of recruits, freshmen at that position as well. So there should be a lot of competition in the back end of our defense, and you can never have enough secondary, especially now, which I spoke about with the evolution of the nickel position as well.
Okay, time for a couple more final questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you. All right, we've got one right there in the center.
Don Zuber, Palm Beach Post. Going back to the defense, can you talk about Kurt's and AJ's friendship? You said that they were best friends. How much did that friendship, lead to AJ coming back and wanting to see Kurt compete again on the field?
Well, I think that that had a part in it, and they feed off of each other, and the players feed off of these two, because whether it's in the weight room or on the field, they challenge each other. And they have a great chemistry about themselves, and they expect and demand a lot from each other. And one individual maybe isn't, holding up to what they expect, they let each other know. And, the mark of great players is that they elevate the play of others around them. And Kurt and AJ will elevate the play of others around them. So I do think that that had a part in AJ's decision to what extreme or to what percentage, or however you want to term it, I don't know, but I know that their friendship's very special. But also they're accountable to each other, and they demand from each other, and that's great. And one individual isn't holding their end up, they let each other know, and again, that's extremely healthy.
Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll have the University of Tennessee.